but especially a middle-aged white guy, there's not much help.
So you had a job during the fair.
Yeah,
And
because
then-
the spot I had been for a while, so I felt secure enough to,
No, you're good. I like dogs.
to, leave her there while I went to work and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, about 2 weeks ago, they moved me out of there. So, the closest spot was down here at this utilities pad. And then the church complained and everything. So...
The church complained.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so then they moved me out of there today. And then right as I was setting up here a little bit, they told me, like, just to keep on moving, don't stop in San Marcos. The
Really?
sheriffs, yeah.
Okay.
Like, basically trying to bully me this morning.
Yeah.
And they told me you gotta leave or you'll get, trespassing. Because if you look up on this property up here, there's little trespassing signs all the way around this block.
Yeah, that's what I
Which
noticed.
makes sense. If that's private property, all the, I get that. You don't set up on somebody else's property. But county property, like that utilities pad or right here, I'm working with my case manager. I'm trying to get work.
Yeah.
But I can't go and look for work if I'm not secure enough to leave my stuff or have a spot to leave her.
Exactly.
So the fact that they keep moving me along, I can't concentrate on anything else besides
Trying to just survive.
like not be in 100-degree weather and shit like that. But
this is rough.
they tried to move me along this morning and said, this property extends all the way down to here, all the way to the road, so you just have to leave. You have to keep moving.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I asked the sheriff, I'm like, okay, so do you guys have some sort of map that shows what's private and what's county and where, the trespassing? Because I guess in San Marcos, you don't have to put a sign up. You can just say no trespassing, and then they can just come and move you off. Which, again, if it's private property, I really don't have a problem with that,
Yeah.
But they tried to say this property extended all the way down to here and to just pack up and keep going. Needless to say, that was like at 9 o'clock this morning. And, I packed it up more condensed so I can move it around. But they haven't come back. And she loves people.
I love it.
So I looked up online, and City of San Marcos, you can look up their zoning maps. You'll see.
It's okay.
You'll see.
So you can
Calm down, girl.
You can look up their zoning maps. Yes.
Yeah. So I looked up the zoning maps and everything to see if the property lines extended all the way to the roads, or if they had the little medians where, the city is responsible for, like sidewalks and everything, or, drainage, which is utility. So I'm like, no, that's why I set up here. I'm away from people. I'm not at anybody's home or business.
This is literally a shit-ass area to be.
Yeah.
It's very unsafe.
Yeah.
People drive like maniacs
Oh,
over
yeah.
here.
That's why I got her on her harness 24/7.
Yeah.
And, it's a short one. It doesn't go. But, so they basically lied to me about where the property lines are at and offer no help, even though it's the homeless outreach program. And they're like,
Is this out of San Marcos?
Yeah.
The sheriffs.
The sheriffs.
The homeless outreach program, and they don't help you.
They don't.
Okay.
So
Good to know.
they
tend to speak very highly of themselves.
Oh, they don't do shit. Like, they gave me, so they got me set up. I've been working with Interfaith for almost a year.
Yeah.
Interfaith, you can get showers and all that stuff down in Escondido. And that's the reason I don't want to go too much further that way, is because the distance to get to that if I do need it. And donating plasma and the gym to take a shower. So that's all that direction, not really that way. But the only thing he did was he gave me a number to a social worker. He and I both texted her. She took 2 weeks to finally call me back after his third interaction with me. She was supposed to start calling me back this week because I guess they were doing a senior outreach program.
Yeah.
So they weren't worried about any of the homeless, and so I can understand if she has her plate full, she has certain obligations she has to get done. If she gets back to me, great. But a year with Interfaith, and his first comments were, you chose to be in this situation. You chose not to work with Interfaith. You chose not to work with Yolanda. And I'm like, no, I worked with Interfaith. When I got Yolanda the other week, she finally told me that Interfaith didn't even sign me up for the services that could be beneficial to finding me housing. And that she was going to call me back this week after she finished the senior thing. So, and to get me signed up with those resources.
Right.
So, but his first remarks are, he's obviously biased and...
Is this the sheriff or?
Yeah, the sheriff's.
Okay.
And I can understand that. There's a lot of homeless people who are in this situation who do choose to be in this situation for drugs or mentally they're not there, so they don't know any better than to be in this situation.
But that's not you.
That's not me.
And you've tried to find these resources.
I've tried. I mean,
and
I got
yet they
solar
still,
panel.
and yet they still try to say that you want this.
Yeah.
And that you don't want help.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, I'm working with Yolanda. She took 2 weeks to contact me after my first interaction with him. And I told him, I'm like, she's supposed to be calling me back this week. And it's like, that was his resource that came and nothing's made of it. And then he wants to claim that it's my choice. And I'm just like...
I'm sorry. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. But, make the best of the situation.
Yeah, it seems that you are. Yeah, so what's next for you? Do you know?
Just gotta keep finding a place to sleep and...
Yeah. Alright. Well, what's your name?
Josh.
Hi, Josh. My name is Emily.
Nice to meet you.
It's good to meet you. We're working with a city council member, Maria Nunez. She's out of District 1.
Okay.
But we're trying to see affordable housing options here in San Marcos.
Yeah.
And I could try to connect you to her.
I mean, I'm open for all resources.
Okay.
All help, anything that can... The problem is, there's the affordable housing, but I need to have work first.
Yeah.
Because you can't get into that. But I can't...
Exactly. You can't work
and then worry about my stuff that I'm going to come back to,
Yeah.
I need to have power to have a phone. So, I have to have electrical stuff. But that's... that thing's $400, and those are $200 a piece. So, it's not enough to pay for rent, but it's enough to at least allow me to survive outside.
You have your tent, fans,
Yep.
electricity.
I gotta stay out of the sun, especially in 100 degrees.
Yeah.
I got, carts to load up my stuff and trailer with my bike, and then I got the electric scooter so I can go run and get food.
Yeah.
Especially today, I'm gonna have to chain her up real good. But that's why, again, I try to stay close to shopping.
Yeah.
So I can go to the grocery store and stuff like that. So,
Albertsons and stuff.
Yep. Little Caesars, $8.
Caesar. Yeah,
$8 pizza.
Stuff that you can.
She loves pizza.
Oh. Yeah, and she's very well taken care of,
Oh yeah. She gets everything first.
I can see that.
So, I got her back in February because I don't like to... And I told him the reason I don't like to go to the single shelters or anything like that where you get a night and stuff like that is there's a lot of hepatitis A and B and C and all that stuff that spreads in the shelters or you go that way and you see in the groups of the homeless people. You can get all of those diseases.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I donate plasma normally twice a week. Right now it's been 2 weeks since I have done it. But that gives me a little income but I can't risk getting any of those. Because otherwise you can't even do that to make a little bit of money on the side.
So your ideal situation would be to find a safe location and then find a job that you could work and then eventually affordable housing.
Oh yeah. Because, she's a double-edged sword at the moment because I worked at Chicken Charlie's at the fair and they wanted to take me onto the other fairs and stuff and I would have gotten housing and all that with them, but they don't allow pets. And I couldn't give her up after just getting her for a few months, but at the time I had a secure spot, so I was already in the market to start looking for another job and, you know, I could leave her there for 6 to 8 hours a day and it was fine.
Yeah.
But I can't do that this close to the street or where people are walking by all day, anything like that. So.
That's true. Yeah. No.
But yeah, security, you know, more availability
Yeah.
of shelters and stuff. Because a lot of the resources are there. Like if you need food, you can get food. You know, there's Interfaith does food twice a day. As far as your EBT and going to food banks, it's accessible. The issue is rent and having a secure place. If they had like a storage yard that I could go put my stuff in, and I would even pay for something for her for the day to go, you know, do a job in. But they don't have any availability for property. And
That's
the
true.
only home that they told me about that I could possibly bring her, I would have to take her every time I went somewhere. So how does that help you get a job if you're always having to take your animal with you?
That's gonna like, you know, maybe alter your experiences there with working, and like maybe your accessibility with working as well.
It's accessibility work.
Yeah.
And because most of the work I've done, like Chicken Charlie's, that's the first time I've ever done food service. I've worked CNCs, I've engineering, repaired tools. You know, I've been putting out tons of resumes. I'm just not getting called backs or anything. So.
So your stable shelter was in for the fair?
The what?
Was it by the fair, or was it? Where was your stable shelter where you were safe?
Oh, so right up the street on Barham, there's that tow yard right there, the manufactured home. I was at the end of that street.
And you were fine.
Yeah, for about 8 months.
And then what was it the past few weeks?
Yeah.
That's because of the
Somebody
encampment ban.
about a month and a half ago now
Yeah.
was when they first said about a month ago was when they first said something. Because this I had up, this actually is a lot longer. It's about 20 feet long. So I had this up, and I had plywood walls and floors, because I was on the floodplain. I was at the end of the street on the floodplain. So I had to be above ground, otherwise I was flooding during the rains. So bunch of
You're smart.
I just bunch of pallets dug out, leveled and graded all the dirt, and leveled out myself a terrace like these, and put pallets down and then plywood, and yeah. Didn't have a tent in there, but I should have at the end. It was getting mosquito season.
Oh shit. So somebody just came and said, "Oh, we don't like this."
Because the businesses there all knew me. A lot of them were upset that I had to
leave.
Yeah. Because they hadn't had a single break-in or anything on that street since I moved in on it. They used to have a lot of problems with like people getting in the back and like cutting in the fences and stuff like that.
So you're like your own little security.
Yeah.
Should have been paying you. Just kidding.
Well, I didn't. It gave me a secure spot.
Exactly.
I mean, security is everything. And then, one day So on that street is the difference between San Marcos and Escondido.
Yeah.
So I always had interactions, like a handful of times, 4 times or so while I was there with the Escondido police. But they'd say, hey, you know, that's city property, you know, you're not on private property. You know, if somebody's going to complain, you're not doing anything wrong, you know, we'll be. And they would leave. You know, I got... Again, no problem with that. Cop gets a call, they gotta at least check out the stuff. But then, I guess they figured out the property line was San Marcos. And then one of the Escondido police came by and said, hey, in a couple days they're gonna come by and, you know, turn this into a no trespassing area. And then they came by and put the 2 signs down, and then they gave me less than a week to clear out of where I'd been almost a year. That's why and I hate doing this, like, that's all trash right now. And the stuff that's, if they didn't clean it up today, but all the clothing I had to leave over at the utilities pad over there.
So their policies are creating more trash problems.
Yeah.
Because it's fucking you over.
And that was like half my clothing and extra blankets for when it starts getting cold.
Yeah.
So that's all gone. You know, I got a commode,
Damn.
I got a fridge and a microwave. Like, I can't every day be moving that kind of stuff. So that's why I'm
No, you can't. It's not in this
consolidating
heat.
down. Nah. And they're doing it in the hottest fucking weeks we've had.
They have.
And I mean,
It's
like,
unfortunate that they passed it around this time. Right?
yeah. Today, when they tried to bully me and said I'd be arrested, they'd impound all my stuff, send her to the pound. I'm like, do it. I mean,
It was today.
Yeah. I'm like, I've been up since 4 a.m. just to move this stuff and pack it down from there to here. And then I had just barely got, this up because I knew this was going to be in sun all day. And I'm like, I can't be in the heat all day. I can't have her in it.
So yeah, they take all your shit. What happens to you? They take your baby, your dog, like.
Oh, I told him I got nothing
That's-
better to do. I'll go get her from the pound. I'll get my stuff from the impound, and I'll move 100 feet away every single time.
Yeah.
When a cop wants to lie to me and be biased, I instantly just get kind of petty and like, no, then I'm going to be the pain in your ass until, I'm going to do everything legal. He's like, well, we'll just arrest you once you're on a trespassing area. We told you that would be. I'm like, no, because I'll pay attention to what you say, and I'll move along, just far enough that you can't do anything about it.
That's good. You gotta get a head on your shoulders.
Yeah.
Keep up with these guys. Keep them on their toes.
Yeah, I mean, just you can't have a homeless outreach officer and his first comments being, you're choosing this, you're choosing that. And I'm like, dude, like, I'm waiting for just a little bit more help. I got no problem going to the interview or looking up stuff or, making the phone calls that I gotta make. But if nothing's coming through, what am I supposed to do for work, I went as low as my last job before Chicken Charlie's, I made $35 an hour. And then I went to Chicken Charlie's just because it'd been 8 months since I did anything. And I was like, I gotta at least, work $18 hour job, which won't get me out of this situation, but it'll take away my food benefits.
Exactly.
And that money will have to go towards food.
So then it keeps you in this situation.
Yep.
Because the more money you make, the less resources you're able to receive.
Yeah. Except for the affordable housing thing.
Yeah,
So,
that would be the only thing.
correct. Because the
would-
Section 8,
Yeah.
a decade waiting list, like,
Yeah.
okay, so once you get in this situation, it's going to take you a decade to get any help for Section 8. That makes no sense. And then the affordable housing, like, they've been sending out emails about a few that are going to start up, but how they're posting it and how I figure it's going to be like buying Comic-Con tickets. It's like I'm going to have to be on there at 11 a.m. or 7 a.m. to get on that list before 100, 200 other people are in front of me.
Yeah.
So, we'll roll that dice when it comes.
Yeah. Where are you from? You from San Marcos?
San Diego.
San Diego?
Yeah.
Did you go to school here and shit?
Yep.
Where did you go to school?
I never finished the 9th grade,
Okay.
but that's never been an issue. I started working when I was really young.
What did you do for work?
I repaired stuff, engineering, CNC machines. I used to do stuff for JPL and Lockheed Martin and all of that.
Yeah.
Pretty much just, I'd catch on pretty quickly, so I get bored with jobs after a few years if I'm not learning anything new.
That's true.
So,
Is that why you left like those other companies, like JPL and Lockheed Martin and stuff? Or like
I was working
ethically?
for a company called Fifth Axis, and we were doing their CNC work. So, and after about 4 years, I started just getting bored, and I wasn't advancing in the company. So I was kind of stuck at a low-paying job. So looked for higher-paying jobs at the time. When I started working, $10 an hour was good money. $10, $12 an hour.
Yeah,
You can't even live in San Diego under $26 an hour now.
you can.
I did the math, and that's not even having a vehicle or going out on a Friday night or something like that. That's strict bills. It's going to cost you that much.
Strict survival
Yep.
on $26.
Because you're thinking just your rent, even if you don't have a car, you'll have travel expenses. and then food, because if you're making enough to pay rent, you're not getting any EBT benefits or anything like that. Clothing, utilities, all of that.
Damn, dude.
And like I said, I started in the city down in like
You've
middle.
been here for a long ass time.
Yeah, 40 plus years now.
Damn, dude.
So, yep, homelessness is a big problem, especially with a lot of the drugs that are out on the streets, and the people, especially the opiates. That just messes so good. It's horrible. But the real issue is not that; it's the rental situation and the inflation that's just happened since the 80s. You know, you have like what, up to like 600 to 800% inflation since the 80s now, and what?
Shout out Reagan.
Yeah, and they haven't done anything for. Hey, they did a little, and then it went straight into the cost of your groceries and everything.
Yeah.
So, like, no control has been put on rent or, you know, land or anything like that.
It just keeps going. Just keeps moving out.
Because you got. So the stock market, you are required by law to make sure you have profits for all your stockholders. If you can make them a profit, you're required by law to do that in a business sense. Conglomerates and a lot of stock trade companies started buying up real estate and started buying up the housing market. And they are legally allowed to raise your rent regardless of any improvements or value in the neighborhood or anything like that. But by raising the rent, they artificially inflate the value of the land and the real estate around it. So they continually do that every opportunity they can. And it has artificially raised the price of land and houses across the nation. Like, this isn't just happening, you know, in nicer places to live. This is happening I've talked to truck drivers. There's middle Kansas, people are homeless like this now.
Oh, yeah.
It never happened.
Yeah. No, I'm from Texas, and small town.
Yeah.
But we had like a lot of homeless people. You know, and it's like, why? Like, it's a small town.
Yeah.
We should be able to take care of people. Like, why aren't we taking care of our people here, right? You said you lived here pretty your whole life.
Yep.
So we should take care of the people.
And I don't need much. Like,
No,
I just
clearly,
need a secure place for my stuff. You know, most days, yeah, I'm not going to have much to do if I'm not getting job interviews or I have a job. I'm just going to be kind of slothful. But at the same time, nowadays, this is all you need to do. Look for a job. And it doesn't take 8 hours a day. It takes 30 minutes. Put my resume out there to 10, 15 places. And
hope for the best. Yeah.
like, even when you walk into a place, they'll send you to their online kiosk or, you know, go online to
They're
find
like,
a
nah,
job.
dude, like, go online. Yeah, every time it's like that.
It's just what it is nowadays. Like, I grew up in the in-between.
Yeah.
You know, it was like I was taught to do it the old-fashioned way at the time, but it would take time, but it doesn't anymore.
No, not anymore.
But something has to be done about the housing.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, even if I get a job, the only way I'm going to be able to afford a place is the affordable housing, because they're going to have to discount my rent. And how does that make any sense if most of the jobs are only paying this amount, and you're saying affordable housing is supposed to get you, you know, help with housing because you're below 30% of the median income or something like that? But if there's so many people on the list to do that, how's the median income so high when so many people who can't even afford that?
Exactly.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
The numbers don't add up.
Moving forward.
People do that all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll share the fan.
Oh, thanks. Would you be willing to talk to city council about your story? I don't know.
Yeah, my issue is just...
And like, I could get your contact information if you'd be comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Because your story is literally exactly what my fears were, right? That we have people out here on the streets that don't need to be, that are looking for better options, that don't want to be here, that are being displaced, that are put in danger. This is a dangerous situation.
Oh yeah, right off the street.
Yeah.
I chose the outside bend because the cars do speed. They're more likely to go outwards than inwards. But still, yeah. The utilities pad was a lot safer. I was set up around like 3 poles and electrical panel there. I was like, all right, no cars gonna come here.